dude does a good intro right there. You see, he got my attention right there. Kendall, the lawn man in Grand Rapids.
Green, sick, weed free.
Bro, we got to get you out of Grand Rapids. Kendall, the lawn man. Kendall, the lawn man.
Yay.
Kendall, the lawn man in Grand Rapids.
Green, sick.
Kendall, what's up? Kendall, what's up?
How you doing?
Dude does a good intro right there. You see, he got my attention right there. Kendall, the lawn man in Grand
Green,
Rapids.
sick, weed free.
Bro, we got to get you out of Grand Rapids. Kendall, the lawn man. Kendall, the lawn man. Kendall, the lawn man in Grand
Green,
Rapids.
sick.
Kendall, what's up? Kendall, what's up?
How you doing?
Dude does a good intro right there. You see, he got my attention right there. Kendall, the lawn man in Grand
Green,
Rapids.
sick, weed free.
Bro, we got to get you out of Grand Rapids. Kendall, the lawn man. Kendall, the lawn man. Kendall, the lawn man in Grand
Green,
Rapids.
sick.
It's Longbow Live, where every Friday we come to you about the green industry, marketing, sales, anything that has to do with your business. We want to come to you and talk to you about it. And today we have a really special guest because I had to talk to his agents. We had to get him flown in on a private jet just to get him here. And you might have seen him in past episodes. His name is Erik Alburg. He's the co-founder of Longbow. Erik, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. And I got to say, I love that intro. Like, it's going to be in my head, like, for the rest of the day. Totally.
You know, we were talking about past, present, and future, and I thought I'd pull up something way back in the past. That was from back in 2016 when I was running my lawn care business, and we were experimenting with different new media. So, like, we did this show very similar to Longbow Live. It's called, well, I can't say the name, but company name Live is what it was. And it was really fun. And, you know, I think it helped us get a lot of attention. And I think some customers along the way, most importantly, I mentioned this to you in the, before we hopped on, is it's just kind of fun to look back and say, damn, how far we've come.
Yes.
And, you know, when I thought about a topic for an episode today, I was looking back at our journey of building Longbow, and we've probably done 3 interviews like this. So it's interesting to go back to each one and look about what we were concerned about at the time, where we're at today. And then, like, we would always be talking about the future. But what I think is interesting is everything that we've talked about, we've delivered on from a product perspective, from a results perspective. So I thought it'd be really cool to bring you on today. And, you know, we're going to dive into the past. Who are we? Where did we come from? Where are we today? And where are we going? So if you're a current Longbow customer, and even if you've been kind of lurking in the weeds and watching what we're doing, we're going to give you a little bit of an insight of what you can expect over the next 6 to 12 months in terms of development, what's coming forward, what you can expect.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting that we talked about the past. The past was like a year and a half ago. Like when we joined forces, it wasn't that far. So the past, the present, and the future are all very compressed time frame because we're innovators, we're hustlers, we're movers, and you know we're gonna have a lot of fun today, I think.
Well, that's what's funny about the technology world is you talk about the speed of which we've had to develop, and it's extra important in the green industry because we know that spring it only comes once. And if you miss that power window of spring sales season, we had to get that first version of Longbow out the door. Do you remember that first? I still remember. It wasn't that long ago. So yeah, I guess I still remember it. when we had met up, I had a stack of contracts of people that signed up, said, Kendall, I believe in this idea. I love where you're going. And again, this wasn't that long ago. It's like 25 contracts, I think. And we got linked up through a mutual friend, Joe Gallagher, 86 Repairs. Shout out 86 Repairs.
Super shout out.
And we'd got coffee at Ferris. I remember coming in there, I was like, just trying to sell my ass off because I had all these contracts, right? And we needed a scalable product because I was building all these by hand initially with off-the-shelf parts, and it was before Measure It, kind of before the Real Green integration, before the Real Green acquisition. So that was always, you know, when I was thinking about what the whole product looked like, and I thought about like when I used the tool in my own business, I thought, how cool would it be to integrate with Real Green? Like that'd be the final step to all this. And lo and behold, now over 200 companies use the software, over $1 million in closed sales this year to date. And, you know, we're continuing to add new customers, but then also have our customers add new customers through the even, you know, not peak sales season. What made you like, join this ride at the beginning? I'm curious.
It's like, so I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I've been doing this for well over a decade, just meeting with founders and looking at products and looking at opportunities. And what stood across was just simply your ability to sell stuff that didn't exist. Just an idea, like it existed. Don't get me wrong. We weren't like scamming anybody, but it was just like, it wasn't fully there. It wasn't fully scalable. And the fact that you could go from 0 to 25 contracts in a way that you didn't quite know how to deliver on that yet at production level scale was super impressive. So really that conversation we had, I was very, very skeptical about what was going on. And that's why I call it founder dating. So we actually kind of dated. I sat in a bunch of meetings. I think the first meeting I sat on was with Real Green, the very first discussions around our integration partnership, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It was you, me, Bill. I think Caitlin very early on.
Yep.
Very early on. This is like January 2019, maybe. Yeah.
2020, right?
No, it was just way at the beginning, back when we were in the basement.
Yes, in the basement with the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So he introduced me as like the CTO. Like I was not committed at all, but I'm like, yeah, I'll sit in the CTO. Sure, why not? Because that's how we roll here. But
what do you have to lose?
What do you have to lose? But yeah, just the conversations are super positive. Like everything around it seemed right. You know, I looked at the technology. I'm like, okay, well, they're off the shelf parts. That's fine. We can work with that. But the ability to have a really clear picture on, where you are, where you need to go, and so forth. And that's what kind of really sold me on the Longbow opportunity.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember you you told me that you like talked to your mom and talked to your girlfriend at the time. And you're like, this lawn care thing, like I've never bought lawn care. Do people actually buy this stuff? Like, what is this thing? And now I'm sure you could start your own lawn care company with as much knowledge that you've learned about the industry in terms of how they price, how they discount, how they run promotions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were having people going through our neighborhood now, trying to sell us perimeter pest control. And we're like, do you have a lawn buy? Like,
yeah,
I'm going like, hang on, let me put a shirt on, and trying to sell them on the front stoop. But it's crazy that, in retrospect, looking at the lawn care industry, that it was crazy that nobody's ever successfully been able to sell online up to that point, up until Longbow.
Mm-hmm.
And, as we go through the present and the future, we'll kind of talk about that. It's like, it's very nuanced. Everybody has their own spin on how they sell lawn care and what separates them from everybody else.
Yeah.
And really that's what kind of Longbow is there to address, is how do we encompass the way that you sell lawn care through a software platform.
Well, and it was really, all we had to go on initially was how I sold at our company. And, our company was in Michigan, serviced about 2,000 clients, still growing. My brother runs that company now, and, they're taking care of customers great. But all we had to go on was that. And the way we sold was on a per application basis, with a prepay option. We didn't do installments. We did run some promotions, some light promotions, but I think that's probably the biggest complexity at the beginning was the pricing, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean,
By far, like exactly. We built the entire product around how Kendall sold lawn care for all those years of his family business. And then, we talked to somebody else, our first clients, and like, well, we do it a little bit differently. And somebody else does it a little bit differently, and continue and continue and continue. And that's really been the biggest challenge, for this first year of the product development, is to really figure out how we can accomplish 90% of how everybody sells throughout the world, right? We have UK and Canada customers right now, so it's like,
so UK can't. I was really happy to see Canada take off this year, and that's something that, like, when you have to understand. I mean, 2 years ago, this was me in my apartment office upstairs on the 3rd floor. I'd work on this after work, so I'd come home from doing lawns or running the company. And where the idea initially came from was I remember I was driving on 131. Grand Rapids has this app called Pay It, and you can go on there and pay your parking tickets super easy. And I was like trying to call the company to buy this app for my business, but they're like, well, we don't sell to businesses, we sell to governments. And I was like, well, it's probably not going to work. They're not going to be able to build it. And I was just like, shit. And I started talking to custom software developers, and they're like, oh yeah, easily 100 or 200 grand. I was like, I don't have 200K just to test an idea. So that's when I used off the shelf parts. And I remember the first sale that came in through my tool that I built, and I was just amazed. I was like, they bought online, they went online, put in their credit card, said, I want to sign up for service. And that's when I knew that it wasn't a matter of if this was going to happen in the green industry, it's when. And right now, Lawnbot, our team, 9 people, Real Green, we're the only people working on e-commerce for the green industry. Everything else I've seen, it's missing the whole product. Meaning, when you hit the website, there's a form, people fill out the form. That data needs to go somewhere. It needs to do something. Typically, people hand enter it into the software, in their whatever's back office software they have. But then to add the e-commerce component, to where if they're ready to sign up now, why not make the sale? So I think the amount of work that we've done on this problem has just been mind blowing, and couldn't have done it without you. What were your biggest reservations? I think at the beginning, what would you say with Lawnbot? Was it the market size wasn't big enough? Like, what was your initial objections, you think?
Oh wow, you should give me some list of questions. Yeah, I don't know if I had that many reservations. I think it comes down a lot to the team who works on it. Like, I've been doing Starbucks for 10 years, and everybody has like a great idea. And, a lot of the reservations that came away was just simply that, like, we had a solid marketing plan. Like, we were talking to Real Green. We had ways to roll it out. I mean, we were building the product, at the solutions conference 2 years ago, in the booth while you're selling and signing contracts. So it's like, I knew that the talent was there, the team was there. We both had the skill sets. We have overlapping skill sets to a point that we could each flex off each other, and we can just go.
Where do you think we are on the adoption curve to this? I mean, do you think we're still early? Do you think that the companies using us they're still early adopters? Because obviously every company in the green industry doesn't use us yet. Where do you think we are in the adoption cycle of this? Do you think homeowners are going to drive that? Like, is it going to be homeowners leaning on the companies to say, hey, you suck because I can't order online? Do you think that's going to drive them to seek technology like this, or what do you think it is?
I think it really comes down to the efficiency of operations. So I don't necessarily see that a lot of folks, homeowners, will go ahead and demand that they purchase online. Although, I'm one. My fiance is one.
Definitely.
She's like, if I can't order online, I'm talking to somebody else. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's lawn care, if it's like a car, if it's like, whatever it is.
She said she's trying to order you a wedding cake online.
Yes. And it's just crazy. So
we have a website for that. Drop it in comments below. You're going to save Lori and Eric a lot of research.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's a huge population of the public homeowners that want to buy online, but are just kind of like, well, if I want a beautiful lawn, I need to call somebody. But, you know, a lot of times we call and, you know, we're put right to voicemail because those same folks were on the lawns treating the lawns
Right.
and their clients. So
Right.
I think the real adoption will come when businesses start to grow and they start to feel that pain point where they can't do it all and they need help. They need to have a digital solution to take, you know, incoming leads, put them into a system like Real Green, use Real Green, which will help them, you know, bring in the clients, bring in the customers, schedule them, route them, get them on the schedule, assign the teams. I mean, that's the beauty about
Yeah.
Longbow and Real Green together. Is that we take not the lead information, doesn't go to an email box where you have to go ahead after work at night, type it into the CRM and do all that stuff. It's there. As soon as that lead goes in, it's there. It's ready for you to process and, you know, service that client or that new customer. So I think that's the real thing to adoption is when people grow their business and they're starting to feel a pain point. And I think that happens very early on. So if you're watching that, you are in that situation. You know, sign up for a demo, right? We got a demo link someplace.
Yeah, demo link in the description. We'll more than gladly take you through a demo. Obviously, right now is probably the best time to buy Lawnbot. Well, anytime's good, but you know, it's like buying a snowblower in the summer. You know, it's you're gonna get the best deal. And all of our team, you know, we're always ready to take your questions and calls and concerns. But I think that's one of the magic of if we're thinking about the present of where we're at today is, I talk about it like being magical, right? Like somebody goes on your website, they fill out the form, they go through Lawnbot, they buy, they become a customer, they put their credit card in. That all of that information set up for you within the CRM. The credit card information is on file, it's tokenized. Like that's magic.
That's magic.
You get into the office and it's just all there. You don't have to call the customer to get the card. And we all know in this industry, the sale's not made until you get the card on file. So that's what, and what's funny is, let's talk about how we have to say no sometimes. It's funny, some of the requests that we get. What's some of the requests that you thought were a little bit mind boggling, like that we've gotten so far that we had to say no to?
Oh, I wouldn't say they're mind-boggling. I think they're mind-boggling for, you know, again, from where you started off, your system of selling through the company we can't mention, and then how other people sell. So the complexity and the creativity of way people sell online, we just in the first year can't match that.
Yeah.
So things like, you know, really complex packages. And when they, you know, buy this and they get this for free, but if you don't buy this and get this for free, then you get this. And then it just kind of goes down all these different traverse of path. And that's what happens, right? When somebody calls you, calls your company and says, hey, I want lawn care. And they say no, that first objection, what happens? The salesperson go, hey, what if I bundle in this? Or I can only bundle in this if you also buy this.
Yeah.
Like those complex deal flows, we're just too early on to be able to handle those. And we don't have a good idea of all the different possibilities to do that. So I think early on, I wouldn't say anything's mind blowing. I would just say that the complexity of deal flow, we weren't able to handle early on. And we had to say no to that because right now we're very linear type selling process. We're going to have prepay. We cannot do discounts. Absolutely. But when you start saying, if I add this to like a human would do,
here's one example. Buy this package, get 2 apps free over here on this package, and stuff like requests like that, that I don't necessarily think drive conversion rate. What's nice about having 200 companies is we get to see the most successful ones, the medium successful ones, and the lowest tier. And it's funny, the more complex something is, the less successful it seems it is on the platform. I think the people that actually purchase online, and this probably goes for Amazon too, is the simpler it is, the more beautiful it is, the more people that can understand it, the higher your conversion rate is. So to try to do all these bundles and stuff, that's great for fast talkers on the phone, which, you know, we had them at our lawn care company and we sold. It's like, oh, let's throw in this mosquito and throw in the flea and tick and get them on a grub 50% off and blah, 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 just to close the deal. Well, a digital transaction is not like an over the phone sale. It's completely different. And I'll give you an example that I just thought of is we actually had a customer say, can we add a request a check option to Longbow? And that's like something we had to say no to. Clearly, we're a digital product. We believe that the world is going more digital. It's not going backwards. We think that yellow pages is the past. Sure, people still send you checks, but I think the people signing up online, they want Apple Pay, they want Google Pay, they want to put their card in. They don't want to have to send you a check. And so we said no to that because we really believe that this is a digital product. They're digital buyers buying this way, and sometimes you gotta say no, or maybe that's not the best way of doing it.
Right.
So we're getting better at that too. That's also one thing I've come to learn as a startup. Like being on the sales side, you always want to say yes, but sometimes we have to say no, or that's not a good idea. Or here's why you don't want to do that, because 6 months from now, you're going to come back to me and say, Kendall, like our conversion rate's low. I'm going to say, well, here's why.
Mm-hmm.
You're going off script. We have this cohort of customers, 200 people having a lot of success, and you're not. That's why. Let's change it up. Let's flip the script. So where are we at today? I mean, how many people do we have on staff now? Who's on your? I know you've got an awesome development team. That they're doing a fantastic job. Tell the world a little bit about your dev team.
Yeah, so we actually just brought on 2 new developers. We have 3 additional besides myself. Shout out to Malcolm. Malcolm is a college student who is killing it. If you're watching this, you're awesome, dude. But he's just like a sponge. He absorbs it. He goes ahead and he's been pushing out a lot of things. So if you have a Lightbox on your site, if you love the new login screens, that's all Malcolm. And actually, talk about a little bit about where we are in the development staff in the future is that we are doing a complete rewrite of the chatbot, and Malcolm is actually leading that off, and he's doing a fantastic job, making things more flexible, more extendable, which gives you guys the option, our clients, the options to, extend and add questions and make everything the way that you actually want. And that was something we had to say no to a lot about, is a lot of customization, like colors, even like colors in the first version of Longbow, you couldn't really change the colors. Well,
Right.
Guess what? And the second version that is coming out, you can brand it completely to your color scheme, your branding of your company. So Malcolm's been with us for about 3 months, just kind of working part-time while he's going to school. But we did just bring on 2 additional developers. Rod, from New York State, just joined us about 6-8 weeks ago, and then Jonathan from North Carolina, also from North Carolina. I just said that, but he joined about 2 weeks after Rod. So we're still very new. They're still very new, learning the product, learning the code base, and all that good stuff. But they're actually making some really great progress on the future of Longbow, which I don't know if I should mention now, is called what we're going to call SelfServe. So dropping a little bit of tidbit there.
If you made it, what are we at here? 23 minutes into the episode, SelfServe is coming.
SelfServe.
I've seen it with my own eyes. It's really cool. From what I've seen, it's going to be a lot like AMA 2.0, where you can kind of go in and customize. Longbow, right now, we are the bottleneck in a lot of cases. If customers want to do an update, right now they have to email us. Well, we want to get rid of that whole friction point of having to contact us to do it, and you can just log in yourself. Your marketing team can log in, set up an offer or a promo on a moment's notice. Where I see that being impactful is at my old lawn care company. Is we would notice spikes and things, like when the mosquitoes come out, we start getting a lot of mosquito calls. So you might want to do a mosquito promotion. If you start getting a lot of calls on mosquito or tick or deer ticks, for example, they come out at a very specific time in the spring, and then they're out in the fall as well. Well, they're there all year long, unless you're hitting them with the good stuff. But be able to go into your Longbow and set up a promotion at a moment's notice, and then do an email campaign to all of your base, or maybe you hit an email campaign to everybody that ever requested a quote from you in the past. Be able to do that yourself and not have to email us and wait, as we all know in this business.
Crazy.
time is money.
Time is money.
And the more time we can save our customers, the better. So we've been getting a lot of requests for self-serve. So that's kind of cool. And if you haven't added Longbow to your business yet, it's going to remove that bottleneck as well. So right now, you sign up for Longbow, you get our concierge onboard team. We have you fill out a document. We get the building on our end. We send you over a version. You proof it. You say, I like this. I don't like that. That takes time, right? That process is going to be changed for the better, and that's self-serve. You sign up. We give you access to start building out your bot, uploading offers, price tables, program descriptions, program names.
Yep. I think it comes down to like, I think there's always be those folks who are so busy in their business that they want to have that concierge system set up. So if that's you want to have it set up for you, we'll set up everything for you, your programs, your price tables, with Real Green pricing. We can talk about that as well. It just imports directly in from your CRM, the SA5. But once that's set up, those minor changes that you want to change, maybe you want to change out your logo, maybe you got new branding. You don't need to go through us, our operations team anymore. You can upload your own logo, hit publish, it's live. You can add or disable programs throughout the year. That's completely up to you. You can change around offers, that kind of stuff. So all that's going to be available at your fingertips inside of our dashboard here in the fall. Probably within a couple months here, we'll probably be rolling out to our testers to make sure everything is working properly. But that, again, we're here about, not only sales, but also your back office and managing your business the way that you want to manage your business, and not be reliant upon somebody in a ticket system to make those changes. Yeah.
I think we maybe don't even fully comprehend the fringe benefits of doing self-serve. When I think about it, I even think about the program descriptions. Like, program descriptions are kind of huge for e-commerce. And right now you pick one program description and you just have to roll with it. I guess you can update it. You can always email our team, but what if you want to test different program descriptions to see which ones get better traction? What if you want to throw emojis into program descriptions to see if that converts more, right? So I think that's going to be really cool that clients can log in and change their program titles in the program description whenever they want to, right from the Longbow dashboard. I think that's going to be really cool. And next level, let's get into real-time pricing. So give me the background on we mentioned pricing as kind of a consistent pain point with us. So people in this industry, they price typically based on per 1,000 square feet. They might price on linear foot if it's like a perimeter or like around a house or something like that. But mostly we'll talk about just, per 1,000 square feet, per acre, that type of stuff. What was the big pain point with pricing with Longbow?
So just talk about like the past. So how Longbow is set up is that we would ask the pricing from our clients. We would say, please provide us a list per 1,000 square feet or per linear foot or whatever it is. And that would have to be exported into a spreadsheet to us, and we would import it into the system. And then the problems start to come up is like, well, what happens if pricing changes? What happens if they want to change the pricing? What happens, like it was just a giant pain. So it would be probably the most painful. If I ask the operations team, what's the worst thing in your day? They'll say the price charts, guaranteed. So because it's all the upload, it's the testing, everything else that goes into that to make sure that, because that's the most important thing, right? Is making sure that the price is right. Whether that's through email that you get notified or in the CRM, you want to have the price be correct.
And what is right is what's funny, because when we'd ask clients, well, what do you mean by right? What are you using as your barometer of right? So some companies use their price tables in Real Green. Some have a spreadsheet outside of Real Green that their whole office operates on, and that spreadsheet's not in their CRM system. So finding out what the customer's definition of right was really important, because even some customers round differently. Per 500 square feet or per 250 square feet. Like, it's bizarre stuff.
Absolutely. We actually got some complaints because the pricing was off by 2 cents.
Yeah.
Like we did some rounding, we added everything up and we rounded up or rounded down by something and it was off maybe like 2 cents. And it sounds kind of trivial, but when you look at the CRM, the back office, everything that the office managers at these lawn care companies had to do to manage that 2 cent problem, it was enormous.
Yeah.
It would take time of their day, the frustration of their day. Like they're like, oh, Longbow doesn't work. Well, yes, it does work, but this is the math we're using. And they're like, well, that's not how the math we use.
It's software, right? It's going to do exactly what it's programmed to do. It's not some like fictitious robot in the sky, like picking out pricing. Like it's programmed to do. So it was just a matter of getting the correct plumbing in place, right?
And also like the way that people are priced are typically based on service, obviously in lawn care. But when you go to a shopping cart and you put things like Amazon in your cart, you look at the total price and then you add them up and then you add sales tax and that is your end price. So when you do that across 10 applications, you can see how rounding error could actually come down to 1 or 2 cents. So that was another large headache. Also things like budget billing. Again, people are getting creative about how they budget or how they bill. And some people will say, hey, there's 10 applications, but we're going to spread that across 12 months. And then we would do obviously the math on that. And that could also come up as incorrect to the standard pricing. So it became a very, very difficult thing to manage. But what's great about real-time pricing coming to the future and actually the present, is that we've been working with the Real Grain development team and they've created this awesome instant quote, instant pricing. We send them across a square footage or a measurement of linear foot. And based on your price tables in SA into the CRM, they'll pull back the appropriate tax amount, the appropriate gross, any kind of discounts that are tied to those rounds. And we can display those directly in the bot. So the consumer, the end user will be getting the same exact price that will eventually be pushed into the CRM and everything is tied up nice, neat into a little bow.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Thank you, Real Grain, because you have no idea how awesome that is.
Huge lifesaver. When the pricing being shown on your e-commerce tool matches exactly what's in the back office CRM. And the picture of what the client would measured is, I think we overlook that sometimes.
We totally did.
We like, we talk about like a rounding error and we fail to talk about measure it. Probably the silver bullet of all this. So if you want to go all the way back to the past, this is interesting how we're jumping around, but I think it makes total sense. Is at the beginning, we use Zillow to calculate lot size and we applied a reduction percentage to come up with estimated lawn size. With that, there was also a cutoff where you could say, hey, if it's bigger than 60,000 square foot, don't quote them pricing. I want my office talking to them. All of that to say, that was another big problem we overcame. Startups are all about solving problems, and that's what we do every day here is just solve problems for our customers. And we were getting feedback from customers saying Zillow's off. By your calculation, sometimes between 20 and 30%. Sometimes
100%. We've actually seen some Zillow results come back as 1,000 square feet on a residential home.
And that might just be a data entry error by the county or something.
Right.
I don't know what exactly it was, but what we discovered was that data source was only accurate. I don't know. I'll be fair and say 70 to 80% of the time.
That's more than fair. That was more like 10% of the time.
We looked at it and we said, okay, well, we need our customers price things by area. They price things by square footage. We started using the Google tools. You guys all know these tools. You right click on a Google map and you're dropping these points and lines, and it's a very clunky process, especially when you think about if a homeowner is doing it. They don't do this every day, all day. So we said, okay, we went back to the drawing board and said, if we do this, I'm a big believer in being easy and beautiful. It's kind of our battle cry here is it's got to be easy. It's got to be beautiful. Like, what if they could just color in the lawn with their finger if they're on a phone, or a cursor if they're on a desktop? I feel like Grandma Karen can do that. And we started going down that path. And we started testing and developing. And let's tell them a little bit about Measure It. So how did Measure It? I think you whipped it up in a couple days, right? The initial code to.
Yep. I was flying down to a lawn landscape conference right when you were about to have a baby.
Yep. Axel's
And-
on the way.
And I was stuck in the airport for 3 or 4 hours, and we had this idea. So I was just, hot spotted off my phone, started writing the initial code, and the whole thing was to pull up, type an address, pull up an image, color on that image, and then use just, coordinate math. To figure out how big it was. And that's kind of where the birthplace was. And we started playing around with things that we knew, like the size of a football field. Our homes that we were very familiar with, we knew what the square footage was. And dang, that is crazy accurate. Like on a football field side, use to measure it, I think we're off by 135 square feet, if that.
Yeah, and it's
It was-
not because our calibration is off. It's because the user maybe colored in a little bit too much or a little bit too less. It's not the calibration of the tool.
Yep.
And we have some ideas around better maps and things to make that
Yep.
tool even better, but
But that was a game changer, right?
huge. I think we take that for granted that we brought that to the industry.
mhm.
Like the idea of a homeowner measuring their own lawn, that's kind of a scary idea for a lot of people. And so the fact that, so many people wanted to take that chance with us and it ended up being the right move, that speaks a lot to I think that is what's going to continue we're going to continue to develop on that idea. How do we continue to improve that self-serve for the homeowner?
Yep.
To
Absolutely.
measure their own property. So
Yep.
you had mentioned like using AI maybe one day to like pick out the green pixels and define a property area.
If we had all the time in the world, we would definitely. So we have been playing with AI. So artificial intelligence it stands for. So we just essentially take a bunch of images that we have colored in correctly for lawn size, and we feed it into a computer, and then it goes ahead and spits out an algorithm to try to identify homes and trees and all that kind of stuff, and then actually color in and estimate the new lawn size of a property it doesn't know.
Yeah.
So we've actually started that.
How many records do we have? How many images? Like 20,000 in the database?
Oh, it's more like 35,000 by now. But it's just like, and that's the wonderful thing about this is like our consumers, our homeowners are creating these data sets for us. So in the future, we hope this is maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year. I'm not promising anything, so please don't say Erik said.
Yeah.
But ideally,
Erik at lawnbot.biz. Erik at lawnbot.biz. That's his email.
But but ideally, like right now, we pop up that map and then they color in themselves. Just imagine a day where that map pops up pre-colored, and you just either have an eraser tool or another marker, or just hit guess this is it, and it goes and does it.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to simplicity, making it the checkout easy as heck. So they don't get lost in the weeds and they don't abandon the carts. So that's what we want to do. That's what Lawnbot's all about, is making the sales process easier and more clear for both the homeowner as well as the lawn care company using it.
And from the pro side, I can tell you right now from running a lawn care company, if I go measure a lawn with a wheel and you go measure a lawn with a wheel and Jimmy goes and measures the lawn with a wheel, they're going to get 3 different measurements. Guarantee it. Same thing if you're using satellite in the office. If me, you, and Jimmy measure a lawn on Google, we're going to get different square footage. It's going to be off by 200 or 300 square feet, guaranteed. I know that because I've measured thousands of lawns myself. I ran a lawn care office. So when you start factoring all that in, you start factoring in the time value of money. How much money does it cost you to send a person out to a lawn to go take a wheel and measure it and write up a quote and like hang it on the door? Like, how much does that cost you? Well, you're probably paying them like 15 to 20 an hour. It's going to continue to go up, the labor cost. All in with healthcare and taxes and everything, you're probably at $30 an hour on that head. Gas to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity cost of them maybe being on the phone in the office, making more phone calls rather than driving to this lawn to make a $400 sale. So there's something to be said, I think, for pre-qualification around, maybe this buyer doesn't need a full-on red carpet sale, like come out to my house and walk the lawn with me. maybe that's where you want somebody going out. If they really need help and it's like a really train wreck lawn, maybe that's when, a sales rep's needed. But if they just want to sign up for a fertilizer package, or their kids are getting bit up by mosquitoes and they're like, damn, we need to hire somebody. And that's the other thing I've noticed in the mosquito industry. Almost nobody offers online ordering, which is crazy. And I think we're going to help change that. But because we're already selling mosquito and pest, perimeter pest, mosquito, flea and tick. People sell it a lot through Longbow. But I just was like, the other night I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, it's amazing. It's astonishing, actually, how many mosquito companies don't offer online ordering. You think of, somebody out in their yard barbecuing, they get bit by a mosquito. Like, the first thing I'm doing is Googling companies. And the only thing that there right now is just forms. Like, fill out this form and somebody might call you back. Like, what kind of user experience is that? Client experience is that? So I find that really funny. So we got real-time pricing now. Exists. It's there. It also helps us launch bots faster. I saw a bot launch in 10 days 2 weeks ago. So that's amazing to me. We're thinking about, we went from 2 months to a month to 4 weeks, or I'm sorry, 4 weeks is a month, right? 3 weeks. Now we're down to 10, 14 days to go live. Assuming you have Real Green, assuming you have SA5, we can utilize your price tables, real-time pricing.
Yep.
It's amazing. So we got real-time pricing. We have SelfServe. What else is coming down the pipe?
We already talked about refactoring the chatbot.
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah. How can I forget that? It's awesome, by the way. It looks very.
Yeah.
We use the word sexy a lot here. We don't have to look sexy.
It's sexy. It's pretty good. Yeah, we're absolutely making everything like more crisp. Make sure it works on all devices. Like we're just making it the whole thing better and more efficient. Like Kendall built the off-shelf parts in the beginning. The middle of the first version used some of the out there libraries that are available to everybody, and we just wanted to make something super custom to us that's very quick. We don't want any lag in the system. We want it to look beautiful and exactly look how we think it should look.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's one. So the chatbots is going to look better, going to be more sexy, as we put it. But we're also looking at different, what we call, form factors. Like it comes down, like the chatbot was our first platform. It's called Longbow for a reason. But are there other different ways that we can maybe stay on the same page? So maybe live on your website and then have a bot type experience live inside of the website. You're not being redirected. You're not like, people aren't like, well, where am I now?
Yeah.
But also make it more simple. Perhaps like fill out a form, choose what kind of problems you're having, do a measure it, and then boom, there's pricing right in front of you. So we call that the wizard. And
Eric calls it.
I call it the wizard. What do you call it?
I call it Longbow Lite.
Longbow Lite.
Or
See,
Longbow Express.
TM Longbow Lite. But yeah, so we're looking at ways, again, the more steps you have in the sales process, the more friction you have in the sales process, the less likely you're going to close that sale. So we're looking at ways to simplify even now the Longbow experience to make it simpler, more linear, more straightforward, and hopefully increase the conversion rate for our clients.
Yeah, that's what's amazing. We've already sold more than $1 million this year for our clients through Longbow, through our software platform. But it's like, and we know the conversion rate. How do we improve the conversion rate to get as high as possible? That's the question now. And I think we're at a spot in our company's growth where we have the bandwidth now to really hammer down on that and say, how could we improve close rate and do something about it? Before it was just Erik and Kendall coding back to back, but now we have Lori's team that she runs. You're running the development team, and I'm like a flex player. I'm like just all over every department. And then we got Reviewbot coming.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Reviewbot, man.
What's going on?
This episode's just dropping bombs.
This is why I have 3 to 4 full-time developers.
Yeah.
So absolutely, Reviewbot.
So Reviewbot is another interesting product that came out of our own need at Longbow, and that was we had customers not having success on Longbow, and the only thing that we could deduce was, well, they're not a very digital company. They don't have really any Google reviews, or maybe they have 10 or 20 or 30, but they have 6,000 customers. So Reviewbot is a very it's a very manual product right now. We have to manually do these polls in the sends. So we're looking at automating that into the core platform SA5 to make that automated. So you would set up your requested blast dates. It would do those polls automatically. It would track who left Google reviews. It will put it in a call log on their account. It will say review left on Google, so you know if they're a review type person, right? So your text would know that, do a good job on this person, or that good review could turn bad. We really want to make sure we take care of Karen because she's already left us a review. She's 2 clicks away from giving a bad one possibly. So, this kind of idea around reputation management, you think about how you buy on Amazon, you read reviews, half of them are fake. I'm just kidding. But people read reviews still. It's important.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what Reviewbot is. We help companies get more reviews on their behalf. So it's a very fun product. You can get it now. It exists. You can go buy it today. It's a very manual process for us. So we're looking to automate that process for our clients more. You mentioned OAuthing into Google. So what would that look like? I mean, we're very much in the wireframe stage of building this out from an automation standpoint. But what would that look like? I mean, for a customer?
Everybody, you may have, if you ever use Facebook login to log into any website out there, you're using what's called OAuth. So you click on login through Facebook. They say, hey, do you approve this app? Yes. And then it forwards you back. Same dang thing with the Reviewbot platform. So inside your dashboard, by the way, measure it's also in the dashboard. If you ever want to use it for like somebody calls in, you want to measure your Lawnbot's actually, or measure it's in there, but there's another Reviewbot tab in there. Essentially, they'll ask you to connect your account. So you'll do the exact same thing. You click on authorize Google. They'll go ahead and say, will Reviewbot go, or would you like to give Reviewbot permissions to read your reviews? And you say yes. And what we can do from there is if we have access to your essay into Real Green, we can go ahead and pull out your reviews, try to match them to Real Green customer records, and then therefore say, aha, this person went ahead and left a review. We can also do the same thing with people who didn't leave reviews.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, these people didn't leave a review, so let's go ahead and ask them to leave a review through Reviewbot. And we can go ahead and send out those emails on your behalf or go through AMA.
And it gets super interesting. We start talking about SMS, right? Maybe it's one-click review link.
Yep, absolutely.
Your reps are on the phone. They're calling in. Oh, Johnny was out here yesterday. It's such a good job. Oh, Karen, is this your phone number? Great. Yeah. Press send. Boom. There's the Reviewbot link. One click to leave a review, right? So it gets really exciting when you start talking about where this is headed. And I say all that to say we're going to be raising the price on Reviewbot. So right now it's a steal, $90 a month or $1,000 a year. Literally the best $1,000 you could ever spend on your business. My wife, she's launching a new lash salon right now. And she started aggregating Google reviews, I don't know, a year ago. I said, start getting Google reviews. People read those. It's important. And now I think she's got 28 reviews, and she's just been slowly getting them over time. And she gets tons of calls from Google. She's spending a little bit in pay-per-click, but mostly that people read the reviews. They're like, oh, I read all your reviews. They're so good and detailed. And like, that's what the kind of service I want. So,
Absolutely.
I say all that to say growth.lawnbot.biz. At the bottom, click get started. Obviously, you can't log into the dashboard because you don't have a login yet. Click get started. You can go purchase a Reviewbot or sign up for Lawnbot instantly through our website. So with that, man, this is I think our most thorough Lawnbot Live, but probably the most rewarding. I'm excited to come back in a year and see what next year. We're probably have 19 people work for us.
Yeah, I think in 6 months, when's the next hot season? About 6 to 8 months,
yeah.
right?
So we start picking up. Last year it was in September. People start thinking spring 2022. I think there's going to be a lot of demand coming out of COVID. People want to double down on their success. It's funny. I talked to Ryan with my fertilizing company. He says, last year was good. This year's better. I don't even know how that would. I don't know how. He told me, he's like, I can't even make sense of how that is or why that is, but last year's good. This year's better sales wise. And we're just going to blow it out of the park next year. So they're looking to really go big next year.
Yeah. But I think we should revisit this in 6 months and say, hey,
Yeah.
remember 6 months ago we talked about this? These are all real things now.
Totally.
Like,
And that's the speed at which we've built stuff. Is I'm pretty proud of, the way we've and how quickly we've built stuff. Might not feel that way to our customers sometimes of like, but when you look at some other software products, like you put in a feature request, maybe they don't even respond to it. So we listen to our customers' feedback. We want to build the best product for our customers. We're listening, we're building and innovating.
we still might say no.
We still might say no, or not right now, or maybe there's a better way to do this online, because we do have 200 companies that use the software successfully. I'm going to drop our email here in the comment below. This goes to our whole internal team. It's support@lawnbot.biz, support@lawnbot.biz. If you have any feature requests, if you have questions, if you want to show us some love and say, man, I appreciate what you guys have done. You've helped me close X amount of dollars in sales this year. Drop us a line. The team would love to hear from you. With that, I think we're ready to wrap up.
I think we're ready.
I think we hit it. I think I have a 1:00. I know you got a busy day, changing the world one line of code at a time. But stay tuned. Next week we have another special guest. We're gonna drop that guest probably early next week. Who that's gonna be, and look forward to talking to you next week.
All right,
Till next
awesome.
time.
See ya.
Peace.